Hey everyone, thanks for watching this replay. Good morning. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Coffee with the Critters. Hi. As usual, hey Jennifer. Hi, Coco. As usual, hey Mano, Sharon. How'd the expo go, Sharon? Hi. As usual, I'm sitting here with my co-host, Rico. Good morning, Julie. Yeah. Hey, Ashley. Mano, there's Mano. Here's Pat. Mano, how is Bellatrix doing? Hi. Bellatrix is the Eurasian eagle owl that was here for training from Ohio Nature Education and has now, as of tomorrow, been back at Ohio Nature Education for 2 weeks. And Mano has shared some work that they're continuing to do together. Hi. Rico has me trained well. So before we get started, good morning everybody. For those that don't know, my name is Lara Joseph, owner of the Animal Behavior Center. We are an international educational center teaching people around the world through our live streams using how to use applied behavior analysis with animals, no matter what type of animal. So a lot of my work is, good morning from Sydney, Australia. A lot of my work, I focus on exotic animals, and that's on purpose. I am going to be starting this week, again, regularly helping some zoos. And the reason I like using applied behavior analysis is using environmental events to control behavior. We all control behavior, whether we realize it or not. So I know recently one of my podcasts was on using the word control. We have to control our environment for the health of ourselves and our animals, the animals in our care. Hey, Bettina. For their safety, what have you. You're not going to let me sit down, are you? So using applied behavior analysis, we can get the animals to do what we need them to do without the use of force, coercion, and aversives. So anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I know there's several people on here from the Long Island Parrot Society. They just had their annual expo yesterday, and I'm sure it was a smashing success. Something else. You're going to see me work with several different animals today, and probably animals that you're not used to seeing me work with. Because this week's topic is on wildlife, let me get a couple of things I want to say so you can see what I'm doing in my approach. Hi. I like working with exotics because exotics, in the world of exotics, it's fairly common to use force and coercion to get the animals to do what we need them to do. And mostly it's because we just don't know any other way to do it. I like working with exotics because the power behind the message of using applied behavior analysis and positive reinforcement is there. I like the fact that some of these animals that I train and work with can do some serious damage to people. And I go in and train and show how you can interact with them without putting yourself at harm or without having to use force with the animal. For example, trimming a giraffe's hooves, recall training and target training alligators. We do a lot of work with some of the parrots here. We do a lot of grooming and husbandry, and I'm currently working with this little dude here on accepting medication, and he is accepting a very nasty taste without the use of force. Hi. Okay, here. Yeah, Coco. Yeah. What do you think, Rocky? So I like to show a lot of my work using, because there's a wide variety of animals that I train. What? Most of my work, most of my training is grooming and husbandry behaviors and vet prep behaviors. Excuse me. And today I'm going to show you some work. It happens to be that all the animals I have, the wildlife that I have here that I'll be working with today, are all birds. Imagine that. But we tried to get a mammal in, we tried to get a groundhog in, but I was told it's going into hibernation, so she's out until the spring. But once these animals that we got in a week ago today, once they leave, they'll be here for a very short amount of time, and I'm going to show you some of the work I've done with them. We have over here, who I've been working with daily, Mary Lou, the American Crow. I'll show you some of the work I'm doing with her. And in here we have, right there, a kestrel, Jefferson, and I'll show you some of the work I've been doing with him and what I've been able to get in the past week. Hi. And I'll show you, maybe I'll take you out and show you some of my work with Willie, the turkey vulture. And we'll do a little work with Cello, our roller pigeon. Cello is going to be taking off with me to Columbus next month. What? To help me give a presentation at the Ohio Wildlife Rehabilitators Conference. So I've got to get some work done with him and get him used to be traveling. Nice job. So bear with me, because I want to say a couple of things about working with wildlife. If you want to work with animals and use this approach, applied behavior analysis, I highly suggest you volunteer your services for your local wildlife rehabilitation center. Animals only see me if they cannot be released. And I know, Mano, if you're still on here, I know it varies from state to state. You have to have a permit to care for local wildlife. Otherwise, it is illegal. I have my sub-permit here through Nature's Nursery, Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, so I can take animals in for short periods of time. In particular, different animals. That's how we are able to have the American Crow here. That's how we have the kestrel and the turkey vulture. So, yeah, okay, so Mano says you have to have state and federal permits. And Mano, isn't there, you have to have, I know there's something different you have to have. Sorry, this is out of my area of expertise, but I just train. Isn't there something extra you have to have for migratory birds? So I have my sub-permit through Nature's Nursery, and I've given presentations several times before for the Ohio Wildlife Rehabilitators Association and the International Wildlife Rehabilitators Association. So Cello will be going with me to do a workshop in Columbus next month, and federal from U.S. Fish and Wildlife. Okay. So I highly suggest you volunteer your services at your local Wildlife Rehabilitators Association, because, and this is why wildlife are some of my best teachers. So Carrie says, yes, a permit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services for migratory birds. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Carrie and Mano. Both must be wildlife rehabilitators and educators in here. And here's another thing, correct me if I'm wrong. I know this varies from state to state as well. If you get in an injured animal to your local Wildlife Rehabilitators Association, 3 things have to happen. That animal is either rehabilitated and released, or the animal, if it is injured and it comes in, pending on different, this is where I'm not sure, you can keep it and use it with approval from your state, that it stays and is used as a wildlife ambassador. And what an ambassador means is it's an education animal. And you have to take that animal out at least once a month and educate the public about its species and why it's important in the ecosystem. Did I get that right? Otherwise, if you do not keep it, or if you cannot keep it, it has to be placed with another Wildlife Rehabilitators Association. Or lastly, some of these animals are too injured that they cannot be released and have to be put down. So the only way a wildlife, a wild animal will see me is if it cannot be released. So, hey Puff, if it cannot be released. And so this is what I've been working on, and Mano's helped me quite a bit, and so has Lara from Nature's Nursery. I am trying to get to the public and educate the public and showing that if you keep these animals as ambassadors, you can train them using positive reinforcement and applied behavior analysis. Because this is the reason why the wildlife has been some of my best educators, and they have been. Hey Tim, there's Tim, who's a huge supporter of the work we do here. Many people on here are, and I thank you for that. When you take a wild animal on an educational program, if this is an animal that was injured and used to being in the wild, and now it's being used as educational animals, a lot of times those animals are extremely fearful. So where I come in is educating people and saying, hey, this is how you can train them for the animal's best interest and empower the animal, and it looks good when you're out on educational events to be working with animals that aren't stressed. So I teach people how to do that. And the Animal Behavior Center is currently in the process of getting accepted for people who work with wildlife nationally, earning continuing education units through the work we do here in our level 1 and level 2 membership. And I'm just mentioning that because Mano has helped me with that, a couple different people, and thank you. So we're in the process of getting approved for CEUs, so thank you very much. Tracy says you have to do so many programs with the animal and documentation is sent in yearly to the state. Yep. So I have to submit documentation here as well. I submit it to Nature's Nursery. Hi, Rocky. Today we are having a function here, a rather large one, where it's good boy, Rock. Hi, Rocky. Yeah. Good boy. Yeah, that's right. Hi, Rocky. So Nature's Nursery has made a couple of comments because I've trained one of their crows, just one before, an American crow named Maggie, and by the time it left here, it went back to Nature's Nursery talking like Rocky, and it would say, "Hi, Rocky. Hi, hi." So, and Mary Lou is in the process of learning cockatoo right now. So explain that one on your educational program. The reason, here's where working, hi Rocky, working, that's right, Rock. That's that's why I call it the funny farm here. You're a good boy, Rocky. Where was I? Squirrel. Working with wildlife has been some of my best educators, and this is why. Because you have to really fine-tune and break down your skills. What am I using? Am I actually using negative reinforcement? When I went back to college and was taking master's classes in applied behavior analysis, I would sit and study a chapter and get up and head to nature's nursery. And I would go, funny Diane, I would go and use what I was learning with the different animals there at nature's nursery. Because most of them are, ones I'm interacting with are non-releasable. Then I move in and start training to get this animal used to humans, associate humans with the positive, and you're working with an array of different species of animals, birds, mammals. Those are the only two I worked with. And first, identifying reinforcers and observing the animals. So when Maggie, or not Maggie, geez, I trained Maggie for quite a while, the last American crow. When Mary Lou first came here, a week ago today, I sat and observed her. And I tried to identify what, not only what calm looks like, but what her individual body language looks like. I'm gonna take you with me. I was a little late getting started because I had to do some food prep because I didn't want to do that on here. If you work with wildlife, you cannot have a weak stomach, especially if you train them. So if you're out having fun on a Saturday night, make sure you can do food prep on a Sunday morning. Thanks, Therese. So let's go ahead and get started. And before I do, I'm going to tell you, what do I train wildlife ambassadors? I find out from the organization, what do you need this animal to do? So like with Mary Lou, it's fly to the hand, stay on the hand, step on a scale, go into a crate. Laura wants me maybe putting a harness on her. So I do things that have to be done for educational programs. I just take the stress out of it as much as possible for that animal, and put those behaviors on cue so those animals do it when you ask them to do it. I can train the animal to do these things, but then I need to train the people where the animal goes back to how to keep it going. And that's what we do in our membership program. That's what we were doing with the Bellatrix project in level 2. And yesterday, level 2 got to see my progress with the Kestrel and how I got there. Hi, Rocky. So a lot of times when I'm training, we're gonna have an explosion here. Get it in a second. As soon as I start talking, it's probably gonna start. So I will discuss with the veterinarians, what do you need this animal to do? I'll work closely with a lot of veterinarians in like teaching the giraffe a jugular blood draw, teaching different animals, like we'll teach pigs head targets to stay calm for a veterinary exam. Why can't Mary Lou be released if she can fly? She can't fly. That's why she can't be released. She has a broken wing. She has a broken wing and a problem with her leg. You'll see she can jump small distances, but when something scares her, it's not a pretty sight. She crashes. And Sharon says, and you teach people online how they can get the same results in our homes through their live streams. Yep, I do. And in level 1, our level 1 membership is primarily for people working with companion animals. Level 2 is more people who are more interested and want more information on a weekly basis and through our weekly live streams, working with an array of animals. So we're gonna get started this week at a zoo again, and they're seeing my work with Mary Lou and Jefferson now. So let's go first start with Mary Lou. I keep calling her Maggie. With Mary Lou, and I'll take you over. I got to do some food prep real quick with her, so bear with me. I'm not going to tilt my camera down because that's where the food is. We are going to be working today with several different reinforcers. Right, Rico? So Mary Lou this morning, I'm going to work with some smelt. Jefferson, the kestrel, already got his food prepped. We're going to work with some mice. And Willie, we're going to work with some chicks. And Cello, we work with some pine nuts. So let me get some smelt. So reinforcers for a wild animal are vary greatly. A lot of times, unlike what we discuss in level 1 with companion animals, you can't work with attention. I'm not saying some you can, but a lot of times these animals are extremely fearful. They want nothing to do with you, and it's hard for you to even approach the enclosure without the animal running away or attacking the side of the enclosure. So how do you do that? If I have to use negative reinforcement, which is escape avoidance behavior increases to escape avoidant consequence, make sure you always pair it with positive reinforcement. And then soon you can drop the negative reinforcement, because the longer negative reinforcement is associated with you, the harder it's going to be for you to get the behavior you're looking for. Let's go ahead and go in with Mary Lou. Yeah. Like, bless you. Mary Lou is this year's bird. Sometimes I will come up and talk to her. What do you think? Yeah, what? What? So I can get a read on her body language. And one thing I do here is I ask people not to approach the cage and stand in front of it, because that is a cue, and I need that to remain a strong cue to that animal. You're getting ready to get trained. So I put something new in Mary Lou's cage last night because I'm getting ready to start crate training her. Come with me. What? So this is the first time I've been in here with her. I've got a huge stand right here because her crate is on the ground behind me. What do I want her to do? Okay. So she may be hesitating to fly to me. Let me move this way so she's flying away from that stand, because she's showing signs of not being good. 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 Don't you cash that in my shoes. Ask her to go back. She's not looking like she's too interested in the smelt this morning. And I can tell. Let me grab a different reinforcer. So she's gonna go cache that smelt, and that's what corvids do. They cache their food. So that's showing me she's not hungry. Because she's caching it, it's telling me it's not a high valued reinforcer right now. So let me go in and work with a different one. This is why I say gather your list of reinforcements. And this is what we've done for the past week. I don't know if you can see the writing on the window. That's a list of Mary Lou's reinforcers over the past week. Try a different one. Looking at me? Good. So I'm working on, she needs to stay on the hand during presentations, so that is exactly what I'm working on right here. Teaching her to stay here for long periods of time. And not fly off until I ask her to. So this is what we're going to be discussing in probably our next podcast for our membership, creating duration, because we had a specific request for it. Good. So she's staying on the hand for a long period of time. This is what we've worked on for the past week. So could I force her to stay here? Sure. I don't want to. I don't need to. I want a calm crow on my hand, one that's not stressed. You get a plane net on your beak. Because crows can jab your hands, and it doesn't feel very good. Get down, let go. She doesn't want to get off my hand. That's a good problem to have. I would say that I'm doing a pretty good job at training her and pairing myself with the positives. Why would she want to step off if she's receiving positive reinforcers on me? So we've got to train that. And you're going to have to step off because I've got 3 more animals to train. Good. Thank you, Mary Lou. So we're gonna be training her to go into a crate. Her crate is in her cage. See you later, Rock. And there's the stand. We're gonna put it on. Did anybody have any questions? That may yeah, Mano, I'll make sure the next podcast is on teaching duration. So, okay, no questions. So let's go in. We have a function happening here at 2 o'clock this afternoon, a yoga event where people are coming in from California to teach a yoga class, and it's yoga with the animals. So, and then afterwards, it's a fundraiser for Nature's Nursery. 100% proceeds going to Nature's Nursery. Okay, you guys, sometimes I think I'm boring you guys. Let's go in with the kestrel. I'm trying to think. Let's go in with the kestrel. I got to get the food. It's right here. And I'll show you the work I've done in the past week with the kestrel. To me, I love it. So I'm going to feed Jefferson his breakfast. Which is about 6 grams of food. Cut into itty bitty kestrel bite-sized pieces because I need repetition. Why does it look like she was trying to get out when you... Oh, hang on. Hang on. Why does it look like when I left the cage. She was pacing and looking up into the corner. What I've noticed, and we've all been documenting this past week, Mary Lou and crows are very social animals with each other. Like right now, she's showing some behavior which last week I thought it was stress, and it could be stress, and she calms down when I go in. We're trying to get her crate trained so we can get her out of the cage. She cannot be loose in this room. It'd be very dangerous for her and the other animals. Here comes Milo. I can hear him. You can't come in here today, Milo. All right. So let's... Hey, Cello. Oh, there's the beautiful Willie. Let's get this, let's show you guys this before she stops doing it. She's going to be the next one we train. Isn't she gorgeous? So Willie is a 16-year-old turkey vulture. Here for training from Nature's Nursery. Am I ever nervous that Mary Lou won't get off my hand? No. Last week I was training her to get on my hand. Now I'm in the beginning stages of training her to fly off my hand. I will just adjust reinforcers depending on the... Okay. So we've worked on this in level 2, getting Cello onto my hand off my head. Can you step up here? Here. I know how I can get him off real easy. Toss some pine nuts on the ground. There you go. You want those? Good boy. So when I'm training Jefferson right now, I'm not going to talk because I need to focus 110% on what I'm training him right now. So this is why I tell people, when I'm training, I don't like to talk. Hey, Amy. When I'm training, hey, Bruce, I don't like to talk, and I don't like people talking to me, because if you're actually training, it's a form of communication between you and the animal, and when somebody's talking to me, it's as if they're interrupting that conversation. So I'm looking to see where I'm going to put him so I can move the camera. Let me see if I can put him. We're just in the beginning stages. Yesterday is the first day he got out of the cage, and since he's been here a week. So all I've been working on is getting him to step up onto the hand. I'm probably going to get him to step off over here. So this is Jefferson. Okay. And Jefferson is a kestrel. He's in the falcon family. Let me show you the work I've been doing. Unfortunately, to get you up close so you can see the work I've been doing, I'm not going to be able to... Let's see if I can adjust this camera so you can see, because 100% of my work is going to be focused on him right now. I'm going to turn around and set him over here, and then I'll move the camera so you can see. He's not looking too food motivated today. Did you just eat? Yeah, this may not happen. I left some food overnight in his cage, and I can tell he just went down and ate it, so he may have just eaten right before this. Yeah, he's not interested, guys. So, and I'm not going to force him. Unfortunately. Yes. two. Yeah, he's putting his foot up. So if I keep pushing the issue, I'm going to punish behavior that I've been working on training for the past week. So maybe I'll try this again in an hour, and maybe I'll go live and show you guys. There we go. Nope. Okay. We'll be back. Yeah, his foot is okay. He's just perched on one foot. He's perched on one foot because he's resting. Jefferson can fly, but not well enough to be released. So there he is. Maybe I'll go live when I try to get in and get him out, because he's coming out for that fundraiser today. I'm just going to take the food back into the other room, keep it fresh, because the freshness of the food could be a reinforcer. How do you train to end biting behavior? Hey, my turkey vulture, or not mine, the turkey vulture's right outside the door. So I have to be careful when I'm training her as well. And something else we talk about in our memberships is not to punish curiosity. Because Willie is a very curious vulture. I love working with vultures. You want to talk about intelligent, witty, cunning, manipulative, dangerous. Hi. Here. So we are going to, yeah, she's a big bird. We are going to train Willie next, because Willie does need to go into her enclosure for this yoga event, because one thing you don't want is a turkey vulture on your head, especially while you're doing the downward dog. Because you go downward, you're probably not coming back up. I will be right back, Willie. So I got to get Willie's reinforcer real quick. Are you guys enjoying this? Sorry, I thought for sure Jefferson would come out. Last night in level 2, we did a live stream showing I got him out. Now, how am I going to get him back in the cage? So we successfully, through training, got him back in his enclosure. Okay, so Willie is going to get a chick. Hang on. Yeah. You're going to see very little of my work with Willie, but you're going to see how I willingly get her to see she's going into confinement. Okay, I've got to do a little chopping real quick. Bear with me. Okay. In order to get numerous behaviors, if you don't chain them together, you need to have multiple reinforcers. So that's what's causing me to do some cutting up, because I'm going to see if I can get a couple different behaviors for her, for you guys. which I don't know if I've shown a lot of my work with her online or on my live streams. We do get her out. We do get her out for programs here. Willie is here for training because she likes to attack people. It's her form of enrichment. And once she sees you run or jump, that's her reinforcer to continue doing what she's doing. Then we're going to train cello. Cello is awesome. I often say, my roller pigeon can do anything your border collie can do. Let me see if there's any questions, because we're going to head out with Willie. It's always nice to see what everything doesn't always go as planned and what you do or do not do when it doesn't. Yeah. And Adrian, that's why I do the memberships, because the live streams that we do in the memberships, the importance is not that they're live. The importance is that they're unedited. So you're seeing raw training. This is not happening, and a lot of times I go in, okay, I didn't get this. This is what I expected to get. What do I do? What do I do to make sure this happens? So I did leave food overnight for Jefferson last night, and that's a result of what you're seeing this morning. Because what I do a lot of times, especially with the wildlife, with the wildlife ambassadors that I train, I try to get it to where 100% of their food comes from me. And we do not reduce weight to get behavior. It's not healthy for the animal, and it just doesn't need to be. And the last thing I want to work with is a starving vulture, because now you're putting yourself in a very dangerous situation. Okay, let's head out and train us a turkey vulture. I'm going to first put her in her cage, her crate, and then I'll show you some of the things I do. No, most facility uses frozen thawed. You do not want to encourage a negative feeding response from the animal. That's why I say, be your animal's deliverer of awesomeness. I need to see where Willie is, because I have a feeling she's right there. Yep. Remember that from Old Coffee with the Critters? You want to borrow, can I borrow a cup of sugar? Hi, Coco. Hang on, I'm getting another reinforcer for Willie to get her away from the door. Oh, never mind. Milo did it for me. Here you go, Milo. You want some of this? I love it here. Saturdays I'm here all by myself. Cholo, do not land on my camera. There goes Willie. So she is ready. Yeah, okay. Cello, do not land on my camera. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to watch what Willie's doing through the viewfinder. She's probably going to follow me a little too closely. Would you hang on? Hang on, I want to get the camera close enough. Thank you. I haven't trained her on this stand in a long time. I better move quick or I'm going to have a turkey vulture on my head. So when I first started working with Willie, I couldn't even get into her enclosure. Just have her fly at the camera for you guys. Nice job. camera closer for you guys, is I want to show you one of the first things I trained her to do was perch on cue, station, and target. I wanted her touching her nose to the glove because in anticipation of her getting on the glove, I don't want her beak anywhere near me. So I'm going to show you a couple targets I did with her real quick. And I've only got 2 reinforcers left, so I'm not going to be able to... Touch. 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 Good. I'm just feeding her up. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but she's a bit agitated, and probably because I've done some things with her just now where I've miscommunicated with her. And you don't want to miscommunicate with Willie too much, or you will reinforce aggression. So I was doing a couple of things a little bit different than what I usually do, but that's not an issue. When I was putting my hand around like that, those are cues to her, and I was miscommunicating to her. She will get very frustrated if she does not understand what you're asking of her. Let's see if we can do some work with cello. I just got to figure out what I want to do. Cello is right there on the vine. Cello, you want to come to me? When Cello first came to us, was it 3 years ago? Huh? He was afraid of people, afraid of hands. Let's see, I'm trying to think, what do we want to train Cello to do? Cello is going with me to Columbus for a conference. I can show you one of the things we're working on with him. We're teaching him to identify different suits of cards. Why would we do something like that? I like working with animals and showing people how absolutely amazing they are, how smart they are, because then they have a newfound respect for them. That is why we have a pigeon and a turkey vulture here, because a lot of times people are like, oh, when I see them, people do some mean things to animals. Oh, they're ugly, or if I see them, you know, I try to shoo them off or do even worse. So what I do is help educate them, bring them up close and personal so they can see how amazing they are. Because once they see how they're amazing they are, they have a newfound respect for them and they won't hurt them anymore. I'm trying to find my... Okay, this will be good training because he knows to touch the heart. Now I can't find the Ace of Hearts. So I have a pigeon here because a lot of my work is studying B.F. Skinner's laws of behavior. Oops. And he worked with a lot of pigeons and rats. So that is one of the main reasons why we have a pigeon here. And we teach Cello agility. He flies through the hoop, walks up the ramp, and come. So one of the things that'll punish Cello's behavior is having Milo walking around on the ground, and Milo's over here because he knows I'm training. What time is it? Okay, he's not coming to me. Hang on. Up. So he's seeing this stuff. He's nervous about it. Come here. Good. Milo's making him nervous. Let's move, because Milo's not going to move. If Milo, and this is why I like to work with pigs, because they often train people, and people don't know. If Milo sees me training, he'll come sit beneath the animal because he knows food falls. And look who's coming. Hi, Sandy. Would you put Milo in the training room for me? Thanks. Good. Okay, so I just put Milo in the other room. I can teach Cello a target real quick with a hand. Touch. Good. Touch. Good. Touch. Touch. Good. Touch. Good. So you can see I just shaped that. Touch. So just because you train a target with one finger, when you use a different finger, touch. Good. You're training a whole new behavior. Touch. Good. Let's do this. Because this is why I teach a target. Touch. Touch. Good. Because it gets the animal to move from point A to point B. Touch. Touch. Good. Okay. Let me show you what I've been working on with him. Okay, so let's get him to touch the ace, not the club. Let's do those two. Touch. Good. Good. And he was already trained to do this. We did this in a workshop with the Autism Model School. Good. He's supposed to touch the diamond. Good. Not the A. So be specific. Good. 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 Oh, I just let him touch the A, not the diamond. Right here. Good. Good. Okay, let's mix them. Good. 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 So how awesome is he? Anyways, we're getting ready to have a fundraiser here this afternoon for Nature's Nursery Wildlife Education Center in White House, Ohio. So we're got to get started and getting cleaned up. And hope you enjoyed this session of Coffee with the Critters. If you guys like this live stream training, this is what we do in our membership program, level 1 and level 2. Yeah, so you guys have seen, I believe in level 2, how I got to this point. The next point we're going to go with him is we are going to have words written out on a piece of paper, diamond, spade, club, hearts, and then if I pull out the word diamond, he goes touch the diamond. If I pull out the word club, he goes and touches the club. And that is what we do in our memberships. Why would a pigeon need to know this? When it keeps them used to learning something new, and keeps it fun. Like I said, studies show that if you're actually using positive reinforcement training, it is the animal's preferred form of enrichment. And that's what we do here. We like to see animals empowered to do the best and give them the best life possible. And we like to share that with you guys, the world. And because we always say, if you know better, you do better. If you want to find out more information about us, you can find us at theanimalbehaviorcenter.com, or follow us right here. All right, see you guys. Say see you, Cello.